come along with us as we bring you guys some information on registering goats.
The individuals, we've got a great group of individuals in our office. They're learning. Their biggest hurdle of learning is they've never fed a goat. You know, they've seen them on TV, or they've seen them walking down the road or driving down the road. So not only do we have to teach them how to register goats, I kind of have started what I call a Boar Goats 101. I just get down to the basics. Because the phone calls we get are, how do you tattoo a goat? And they're like, Cindy?
Go get tattooed?
Yeah. You know, so every week we are shutting down for 1 hour and we're doing training. And we are doing basic training. Next week, our staff is going to a show close to Abilene so they can actually see what a show is all about. You know, they're entering show information and they've never even had a clue of how it works, what it looks like, judges. So they're willing to take the opportunity, their time, and go to this show next weekend. I'm trying to find a flush close so they can actually see what a flush looks like instead of just seeing this paperwork. So they understand the paperwork that they're inputting into the computer. So we're trying to give more training to our staff. So it's just not pushing paper. They understand the process. And when we get new members, we can help the new members explain what they need. So Sonia's great. What we're going to work on basically today is kind of how to operate the online system. That seems to be the biggest question. Kind of takes a little learning curve. When you become a member, we will send you an invite to the online. And it will go to your email. It doesn't come from the ABGA. It comes from ABRI, and 9 out of 10 times it goes to your junk mail. You have to go looking for it. So once you get that link or that email, click on the link, set up your account. You'll set up your password. Most of the time we get these phone calls, can you tell me my password? For the online, we do not know your password. For what we call the blue screen, we do know your password and can help you there. But we can just tell you you're going to have to reset your own password, and again, it'll shoot you another email, go to the junk mail, and you have to follow the link and set that up. But we're going to bring up the online system. You just you'll go to our ABGA website. We have a quick link at the top. It works off your email, so you don't be punching in your member number here. You'll set up your password, and then you just log in. It should just, yeah. You'll see everything but this screen on your online live. This is a screen where we can come in and look into we can help you walk through what you see. And Joetta Boyd gave us permission to play with her account and show. So you'll only see this first screen, which is animals. You got drop downs, pending animals. And if you click on pending animals, you will see all the animals that have failed registration for one reason or another. 9 out of 10 times we get the phone calls, how do I edit this animal? To edit, you would highlight on the name, and then you see the red box lit up, and you hit edit. And then it would take you over here, and you would complete all the information. Anytime you go in to do an edit, for some reason, this box goes away. If you correct all this information and you forget to go back and put whether it was a natural or a yes or no, it's going to fail again. So I don't know why that just automatically wipes out, but this is the one box you'll always have to go back in and complete before it would go through. If you are registering an animal, we're just talking about pending. Once you enter all this information, you can hit update, and hopefully it would update. We're not going to mess with her animal though. So, yeah, just click there and then go to active.
Thank you.
This button shows all the animals you have active in your account. This is where you could go in and work on your herd inventory. You have options. You could click these and dispose of them and get them out of your herd inventory.
Now, are there still different disposal codes?
I think there is some disposal codes.
Like, for instance, if I sold an animal,
These are the only 3 disposal codes online. In-house, we have all sorts. I mean, they're like 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes.
oh, when you do that, it shows like you've got to pay something that you really don't.
Okay. The comment was that if you do this, it'll say that you owe money, but when you update, there's no transaction fee. That's something on our end we wouldn't have seen. So, you panic?
Deceased on there?
It is.
Yes, it is.
I have a question right quick.
All right.
If I have an animal that's deceased from 10 years ago, I like that name, and I put that same name on a new goat. If I deceased the other animal.
No.
The rules are you cannot use a name twice, but you like that name, you could use the name and you put like a tag number behind it. You know, if you say Daisy May, then you could do Daisy May H1.
Make it different, even if it's just our one number.
Or you could spell Daisy May maybe just a little different. So, but according to the rules, you cannot read. No breeder can reuse a name.
I had one, like 12 years ago, I forgot I even named it. I went in and named the number, they rejected it, said you already got on that name. When did that happen? Sometimes when you get so many names, there's not many names.
Right.
I mean, you know, you get these big homes. I don't like them homes.
It's simple.
Yes. So, we cancel. You also have active unregistered animals, which would be like your listing papers, if you had any of those. Your next box is actions, and you will see that we worked on this. We renamed some of these. They were a little different. I think it was like American bred, or yeah, okay, American born. And then we changed this to listing paper because people were thinking they were registering, but they'd be only getting listing papers for an animal. And then we went in here on transfer. You can only transfer a goat that you own. Say I bought a goat from Sonia on an application of registration. I cannot go into my online account, register this animal, and then transfer it to myself.
I gotta do.
You would be so surprised how many people have done this and created problems. Because they would register the goat, it registers, but it won't make the transfer, but now Sonia owes registration fees. But I did it in my account. We're working hard to stop that. So, when you click on registered animals, we have asked for a button that when you input everything, that it would say, hey, are you sure? Is everything correct? Please double check. They say they can't give us that button, you know. So once you fill out everything and you hit update, if you inputted it wrong, you can't go back and fix it. We have asked for a button, the ability to go in and edit transactions as long as they're unsubmitted, to delete an animal or delete something that you registered wrong, as long as it was in the unsubmitted transactions. They have told us it is not possible at this time. So we've heard the questions, we've heard what y'all would like. It's just not possible at this time. But, go ahead.
Are they changing it so, or have they changed it, maybe they haven't, I haven't seen it, where if I sold an animal to somebody that ain't registered, where I can register in their name if I haven't already had a transaction with it? Because I know that for a while, they had to have a transaction already.
I'm gonna let you do the new member. Non-member, it's gonna be a non-member.
So for when you are selling a goat to a non-member, we have currently disabled that due to too many accounts being set up for one person. It's caused too much confusion where people are selling goats to say Cindy, and they've set it up 5 different times. She has one goat in each account, but still has her active account with all her other goats. So that has been disabled due to causing too much confusion.
But I know there for a while you had to have a lot of information. Now you just need the
Member number, and you should be able to do it with the name.
Okay.
Right here, you can put in like the member name.
So it should work both ways.
Do you mind them?
So I typed in Morgan, and it should bring up all the Morgans in our database. So you're just going to go through the list and pick out which person you're looking for. And down here at this end, there's a scroll. You
There
just
could even be more than what you're even seeing.
right. So you just have to go through the list and find which individual you're looking for. But if you have the member number that
Created tickets and
I know you guys were working on it. I just was wondering if it's been updated. It's that it has been.
Yes.
So that's great.
yes,
you just click on the name and select the highlighted area.
right. Once you find your member, you click it, select highlight, and it brings them up to the top.
So only thing you can't do is transfer to non-members. If they're non-members, you're gonna have to send those paperwork.
Someone that's never been in our database. So you want to go back to registration? So going back to the registration, register goat. It's all the information that we're used to on a paper application. It's just online.
So you don't need my address every time or click on
The only time we're having a little problem with this is, say you and Kim own a goat together. The system is having a hard time figuring out who's the owner of that goat. But if you go ahead and fill it out, and then when you hit update, it comes up with like a little green deal saying you do not own this doe, and then there'll be a hold button at the top. If you'll go ahead and hit hold, it will complete the registration, and it completes it correct. It's still trying to figure out if you're the real owner or you're not the owner. But then once you hit the hold, it works. The only thing we're having problems with is listing papers, because for some reason the listing papers are requiring a siren dam, which listing papers don't require a siren dam. So we have a ticket in to fix that problem. So all I say is double check, double check, double check. Make sure right here when you put in, it would be on the transfer. When you transfer, make sure you don't put in today's date. Put it in the right sale date. That's one of the biggest things we see is you put in today's date, but you sold it a month ago. And it'll affect maybe what time, how, maybe kids being born, That sale date is important on when those kids hit the baby. So.
One thing I wanted to touch on when you're registering a goat, you put in the parentage. The system will auto-calculate who the original owner and breeder are. You can't go in there and change it. It's gonna calculate it and it'll stay. And it auto-populates the right ear tattoo, and if there is a herd name, it'll put it in there. If there is no herd name, it'll put the herd prefix. I know a lot of members on the phone where do I put the name of my goat? It's right under the breeder section. It's a little tricky because it auto-fills some of that name in there for you. You just have to click in the box right after the populated information and type in the name of the goat.
Is there any way to go in and just like, if we send in a bunch of embryo transfer papers on goats that were, or resets that were bred, we send in embryo transfer papers so we can register them? Is there any way to check if that's been done or not?
As far as it being on file, no. That is not an option right now. Right.
So start with that first.
And when it comes to flushes,
We have problems with, it's your doe, but it's Paul's buck, and y'all share the flush. Sometimes the online system can't figure out who owns those recips, Or you flushed a doe, but since then have sold the doe. Well, you don't own the doe, and this online has problems with that. Our in-house doesn't, but this one just seems to have a problem trying to figure out. You had it at the time of the flush, but you don't now, and it kind of works off this now. And it's another ticket we have sent to ABR, trying to clean that one up a little bit. And this one, like I said, just seems to have a harder time picking up who is the owner at the time and not the owner at maybe the flush time or the conception time. So. Listing papers, these are for unregistered animals. you know, or you have a registered Kiko, but you want to go ahead and get it DNA tested, we have to create a number for it to go into our system to track it. So this is, and we do know this is, as of Wednesday when we left, this was not working. So
So that's more of if you're using it as a unregistered sire or something like that.
Yeah. And since DNA is not required, if you don't want to do the DNA, when you go back to register, the word you have to use is UBUC. You know, if you don't want to DNA it and you just want to register it to an unregistered buck, it's UBUC. If it's an unregistered doe, it's a boar-X. Is way this online, well, or other sometimes works. It just depends on what day.
If you have an unregistered doe, you need to go make a listing paper on that doe?
No, you only have to do that if you want to DNA it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of like back over here on the registered part of it. Right here, if it's an unregistered buck, you would type in UBUC. And then if it's an unregistered, then you can't breed those two together and get anything, but. And then of course, anytime you use a boar-X, it doesn't know who the breeder is. You will have to go in and put your member number there. So. Personal list. These are just kind of your buyers, your sell, you know, you can have a list of who you sell a lot to. You can go find those. You can find their information pretty quick. It's kind of like repeat. It just kind of will populate them over here. This again is a seller is the only one who can transfer the goat. The buyer cannot transfer to themselves. And I'm sure, you know, you fill out the purchaser's information or select, and then you'll go over and click which animal that you're selling. And you can just pick any of them. Yeah, because you knew I was going for the service memo. Yes. And then you have to select here to say if it's a serviced animal or an open animal. Now you can go ahead and fill in the service information if it has been serviced. A month ago this wasn't working, but we do have this one working again. So if you fill out that service memo here, it auto-populates into our system in-house. So, and then again, you just complete the transfer. Anytime you do online, once it's completed, once you've submitted, paid, it prints automatically. I mean, that printer goes off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When Caleb gets there, they go out the very next day. So.
And that's why we're getting paperwork way more quicker instead of sending it in.
Well, knock on wood. When I got there in May, we were almost 2 months behind. We're only 8 days. If you take 2 days out for the weekend, we're only 5 days. And our group thinks by Thanksgiving we're going to be on the same day.
But that's what I'm trying to say is,
yes,
that's why we need to do them online
exactly.
Instead of
faster turnaround.
Sending them in, because it might take you guys might get the mail on Monday or Tuesday, but it may take you till Thursday or Friday to get to it because you already have other ones you guys are working on.
Correct. And we love the online. You're inputting the information. you're taking all the liability of making the mistakes.
Oh gosh.
But our corrections in-house has almost tripled.
I didn't ever feel like I was.
Because, oh, I put in the wrong birthday. We pull the certificate, we get it caught, but now we're manually having to go in and fix probably a lot more. Our corrections have, you know.
I almost need that double check button. Like,
That's what we have requested.
it needs a preliminary, and then make you go back through it and check everything. Exactly.
Yes. That's
Most people will probably still hit that stupid button, and it don't matter without looking it over.
yes. And with this, if you're working real fast, it's real easy to put the birthday as today's date that you're working. That seems to be the number one. The birthday. Check the birthday, because if you type it in wrong at all, it's going to revert back to the day's birthday, and when you hit complete, you just registered it with the wrong
Why
birthday.
don't we take it and have that cut out where it don't go back to the day's birthday?
We can try.
I think it
You know,
should. Hey,
It sounds easy for us,
I know.
but I don't know about the ABRI people.
Well, I'm just saying, if it needs to not divert back,
Right.
so then that way you have to go back and check and make sure you put the birth date in there right.
Yeah.
Or it
If
should
we
even
just
say invalid birthdays.
Yeah.
Something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. And there's like quick pick sires and quick pick dams. You know, it'll list, you know, sires and dams that you kind of use all the time. So, if you've completed all your paperwork and you need that temporary because you're going to a show this weekend, you can find those temporaries in the reports here. There will be another drop box, and it's usually in your general reports. Here's the certificates that she's done in the last year. Yes. Going on to transactions, pending transactions. We see this a lot. You've registered your goat, you've done everything, and it sits here. And it sits here. And you call us and go, I haven't got my papers. I can go to our system. We see that it registers, but there'll be no work order. There'll be, you know, nothing there. So we have to call you back and say, you got to hit submit and go ahead and finish paying for it. This is where we would like to fix, for it to be where you can correct stuff, delete a transaction if you know, let you fix it. But at this time they said it's not an option. So you've also got from transactions, you've got your previous. You can see everything. And believe it or not, we have people saying, I didn't register that goat. We can go into your account and see what day and even what time you registered that goat. So, and I'm going to let Sonia talk about this next. It's our members detail because I don't really work on this part of it. You want me to work the computer?
And just to touch base with, if you have transactions online and you have not submitted them, we did run a report a couple of weeks ago. There were over 2,500 unsubmitted GOAT transactions online. So it's very important that if you're looking for your paperwork, make sure you submit them, because you won't get your original or your temporaries until you do that. So that's very important. So going to the member details, if you click on member details, this is everything that is on your account, your member number, if you renewed, when your membership expires, all your details. You do have the option to edit. You can change your address, your phone numbers, your email. pretty much everything. And if you don't want your information displayed,
Change your email.
oh, sorry, not your email. If you're not wanting your information to be displayed on what's called our blue screen, there is the option to click the box and your information is confidential. We also have the electronic notification. This one is very important if you're wanting to get temporary certificates. You need to make sure that it is on yes. If it is on no, you will not have the option to print those out. And the electronic notification does also mean that you will get your invoices through email. We don't mail the statements out if you have that turned on. You will also receive your failed registration forms through that email as well. We won't mail out papers. And we're working on membership renewals to be available for online. However, there is a ticket in for that because it's currently not available, but once it is, you would just click on your information and that renewal button should become available. So hopefully that'll be turned on fairly quickly.
We were just having a problem with, if you had a junior member, it wasn't allowing
It wouldn't recognize that special rate. If there was an adult with a junior, it was charging full price. And I think that's what ABR is trying to figure out on how we want it to charge. We just can't get it set up the way we want it.
We would like it to be renewal, and then all the junior members, like a drop-down box. Check this one to renew this one, and then it would populate. We may be
Asking too much.
asking too much, but that's, to us, it just seems like it would work with another drop-down box to say this one and this one, and work. But, you know.
Right.
Yeah. If we can get this to work, Sonia does not have to hand print everything and hand print the credit card information. This would just automatically transfer into our in-house system.
Right.
Which
It would make things a lot easier. But renewal season is around the corner. We should get those renewal forms printed and mailed out from the office pretty soon.
One thing we did forget to talk about is you buy a goat here at the sale, and we're gonna play like this is a certificate. All you have to do is write void across the top. Make sure the back part is filled out. Be sure to put the sale date, who the buyer is. Make sure it's signed. Write void across the back of it. Lay it on something out of the sleeve. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of the back. Email it to us. Save a stamp. Save it from getting lost in the mail. We can process it faster for you. You have electronic notification. We received it. You know, it depends on if I get 100 emails. I might say, hey Jason, I got it, or it might be, got it. you know, depending on how many I'm trying to get printed. But we're trying to get every one of them to say, we received this, we've started your paperwork, so you know we got your work. You know, you can do transfers, you can do your flush papers the same way. Take a picture of them, email them to us. You can do membership applications. You can do pretty much anything. Just take a picture of it, email it to us. Then, oh, go ahead.
You may have not accepted the invitation on that other individual.
Yeah.
you'll just reach out to us at the office. The invites are only good for 30 days. So if you know it's over 30 days, we need to send out another invite.
Yeah. And the way those do is
You can have them all set up under one email address, and when you open up, it'll give you an option of which account you want to work under. Yes, yeah. So, yeah. So, go ahead. Well, right now, like I said, we're only 8 days out, and that's 2 days counting Saturday and Sunday. So really, I want to say 5 days.
It depends on the mailing.
Yeah, and it does depend on the mailing, you know. But some days, you know, we're hoping by November we're working the same day in the door. We get here, because believe it or not, in July, we were waiting on them to scan. We had completely caught up, then COVID hit, our printer quit, our online started giving us a lot of problems, and, you know, I would say 2 weeks. Yep, 2 weeks safe side. And you'll probably get your temporaries a lot faster than you get the mail. It just seems like we're mailing stuff and it's taking forever. I sent a priority mail, and this was a month later, and she swore she hadn't got it, so I put in the tracking number. It's like it disappeared for three weeks. There was nothing. And then she got it the very same day she called me. But I took a picture of that and sent it to her saying, you know, and that's the U.S. mail. So we can get them out. It's after that's the kind of scary. So,
If it happens to get lost in the mail
yeah.
after 30 days,
Yeah, okay.
So if you don't receive your original after 30 days from it being mailed out from the office, you can request a duplicate at no charge. Because it's really not our fault or the member's fault. So you just have to put it in writing. Hey, I never received this. It's been 30 days. We'll issue a duplicate at no charge.
Any other questions? Anyone? Okay. Go.
So you'll just go to our main ABGA page under competition and find a show, and our calendar has all the events on there.
well, we have had a request that
We've had several people say they don't like this format, that they would like to go back to the calendar format that we used to have. I don't even know what they're gonna work on with that. But this one does take a little getting used to.
should be able to click on it.
Yeah.
And you should be able to click on an event, and it'll give more details.
I don't like it when it tries to send you the Google Calendar and all that.
Internet browser. Right. And the one that we use at the office is mainly the Google Chrome because that seems to work best. And that's one of, right. Right.
You can also
Agreed.
click on the month, and it'll,
You know, you can do the month and kind of see how everything looks, or it even gives you the week. So, any other questions? Oh, go ahead. Okay. DNA. What's
the story now of something about the not acceptable? So I'd like to say we have a personal account. We've been able to stuff direct to Cal Davis for 25 years.
right?
I don't know, maybe paperwork, we go pull the hair, stick it in the envelope, mail it, they give us an email back that it's here, you know, a couple days later, we get, you know, a week later, it's on the email, week after that, we got a hard copy. Now, you're not accepting those.
Correct. You have to go do all DNA through the ABGA office. So. Yeah, they will not give us your access. So yeah.
Technically, when you go through ABGA owns that
data.
from UC Davis, and when you go directly, you own the data.
Right.
And when UC Davis can't communicate with that.
It should be the same thing because all you're doing is sending us a request. We're going to shoot you we send it to UC Davis. They're going to send you the same little email. You fill it out and then you ship it straight to UC Davis. Then UC Davis lets us know the results. Yes. Well, the kit is just the email from UC Davis. Yeah. Yeah.
Paper.
Yeah. And then you'll just ship straight to UC Davis, and then UC Davis gives us the. Yeah. And you know, hopefully, you know, we can work on, you know, more benefits for everybody. So yeah. You know. So.
We get it back to you and goes to that. That's how it got started into it.
Right. So. All right. Any other questions? I know we're about at 11 o'clock, so we have to shut down so we can get out of everybody's way. But you're welcome. All right. Thank you.
That was pretty nice that Sonia and Miss Cindy came from ABGA out here to give us some information. So thank you guys for coming along and see you on the next video.